So, everybody, hello and welcome back to War Thunder. Today we have an aircraft I really want to do a video about. This is the Grumman F11F Tiger. And, oh god, I freaking love this thing. It's right now one of my favorite jets to fly in the game. Not only that, but I think just historically speaking, in terms of design, this is one of the most beautiful aircraft ever built. I mean, just look at it. This thing actually looks rather contemporary. Even by today's standards, I'd say that this thing looks fairly modern, despite it being an aircraft from the 1950s. Especially from the front, just look at it. Actually, it really looks very modern. Especially with these missiles slung low under the wing, it's really cool. Reminds me a little bit of a bigger fallen Gnat. But yeah, this is a Navy aircraft. The F11 Tiger, manufactured by Grumman. Grumman, of course, being one of the most influential aircraft designers of the 20th century. Still kicking today as Northrop Grumman after a merger with the Northrop Company in the 1990s. And if there's one thing Grumman is known for, it's their Navy aircraft. They have a lot of heritage in designing fighter aircraft for the US Navy. Not only fighters, but also torpedo bombers and stuff like that. Some of the most famous aircraft of World War II were built by the Grumman Corporation. We have stuff like the F4F Wildcat, the F6F Hellcat, the F7F Tigercat, the Bearcat, of course the Tiger, but we also have the F-14 Tomcat, which is the last one of the so-called Cat series of fighter aircraft. Other stuff also includes, for example, the TBF Avenger torpedo bomber. But as you can see, Grumman has a lot of heritage when it comes to designing aircraft for the US Navy. Now, in order to understand the development process behind the F-11 Tiger, we need to take a look back to the 1940s. The 1940s and 1950s in particular were a period of tremendous achievements in aeronautical designs and progress. After World War II, well, it's during World War II even, advancements in jet technology saw the advent of the first jet fighter in the form of the Messerschmitt 262. And it was soon apparent that also in terms of naval aviation, the jet aircraft would in short term replace the prop-driven aircraft. Now, there were aircraft with straight wings, stuff for example like the F9F. You see a straight wing. And this had several advantages and disadvantages. The advantages being that at low speed the aircraft was much more easy to handle. This was very important for Navy aircraft since they were, well, intended to land on aircraft carriers. And if you want to land on a, well, 200, 300 meter long platform wobbling about in the ocean with an aircraft coming in at roughly 200 kilometers per hour, you really want an aircraft that is able to handle well. A straight wing will allow you, because of the air flowing above it and its greater area, it will allow the more air to go over the wing, making the aircraft more stable at low speed. A swept back wing, like we see in the F-11 Tiger, allows for much higher speeds at the cost of less maneuverability and lift at low speeds. The Navy, they were heavily against swept wings at first, because it meant the aircraft were more difficult to land and also to start, because you need a longer takeoff run. However, with the advent of catapults, this was not so much of a problem, but the landing problems persisted, and the Navy therefore was not really interested in such aircraft with swept back wings. However, then a little thing called the Korean War happened, and in that Navy aircraft and also US Air Force aircraft found themselves against a new fighter, the Soviet MiG-15, and that thing had swept-back wings. And straight-wing fighters like the F-80, the F-84, they practically couldn't do anything against the MiG-15. The MiG-15 could fly higher, it was much faster, and it ruled the skies at first, until the Americans brought in the F-86 Sabre, which was the American counterpart to the MiG-15. And at that time, the Navy slowly progressed towards aircraft with swept-back wings to really negate the effect of the inferiority of the aircraft compared to such aircraft as the MiG-15. And the MiG-15 wasn't the only one. Aviation technology was progressing at a very fast rate in the 1950s. From the F9F2, which was a straight-wing aircraft, came the F9F8. A significant improvement over the earlier aircraft. The F9F8 had swept-back wings, making the aircraft much more faster, also having other improvements. But especially if you look at the wing, I will talk about this more when we make a video about the F9F8, because this thing is really deserving of its own aircraft. It's just a beautiful machine in its own right. But to further develop the F9F into the future, they decided to take on the basic F9F, improve it further, using something called the area rule, which was it's a little bit difficult to explain in English. I mean, I'm a German, so I try to explain it as simple as possible. Take a look at the F-11 from above. You have, now think of it, now imagine if we cut this aircraft like this at several points. We cut it here, here, and here. Now all these cross sections, the one here, along the wings, and behind the wings, they all basically have the same area. And this is the best solution for an aircraft that is intended to fly at high speeds, at transonic speed, or even supersonic speeds. This is what's called the area rule. That is why you see a lot of these 1950s aircraft. For example, let's take the F11F Thunder Chief. You also see this here. It's thicker at the front and gets narrower in the middle and thicker at the back again. Most of these high-performance aircraft of the 1950s have this, in German we call it Wespentalje. If you think of a wasp, for example, you have the body and then the tail. It gets thinner in between, and then you have the massive tail and the body with this thinned down section in between. And this is why we Germans call it Wespentalje. Now, with the area rule, other modifications to the basic design, the aircraft was lengthened, area rule was applied, a new wing. The resulting aircraft would become something so radically different from the F9F that it would get its own designation, the F11. First, it was designed in the 1950s, in 1952. The first aircraft, the first prototype, took to the sky in 1954, and the aircraft would be introduced to service in 1956. The F-11 was meant as a lightweight, daytime fighter aircraft, armed with both missiles and cannons. Its engine was the Wright J65, a licensed-built version of the British Sapphire engine. Funnily enough, it would be the only jet engine built by the Wright Aircraft Company, which is a company actually pretty well known for their engines. They built a lot of the piston engines in World War II. But the J65 never really matured into a really outstanding engine. By the time it did enter production, there was also the J57 on the market, and the J57 could do a lot of the stuff the J65 do, just better and more reliable, which is why only a number of aircraft designs would employ the J65. One of these was the F11. The J65 is an afterburning engine, but the first prototype that took to the sky was not fitted with one. Despite that, it nearly broke the sound barrier, and the second aircraft with the once the afterburner was fitted, the aircraft easily broke the sound barrier, making the F11 the second aircraft in the US Navy to do so after the F4D Skyray. Funnily enough, as this is an event vehicle, the F11, we have right now the summer event 2022 running, where you can get the F4D Skyray, and I can't wait to have that thing. Now, the F11 was meant to be a single-seater. It had a single engine, which is something you don't really want to have in a Navy aircraft. That is why all the Navy's fighters today, except maybe the F-35, but the F-35 is not Navy exclusive, stuff like the F-18, the F-14, the F-4 Phantom, they all have twin engines. This was due to the fact that these aircraft were meant to operate over the water for quite some period of time, and this was done because of redundancy. If one engine failed, was damaged in combat, you still had one more engine to return to base or to your carrier. Over the mainland, this might not be such an issue because, well, you have solid ground beneath your feet. You usually have some area where people live. However, on the open ocean, if you get lost, this is quite some problem. And single-engined aircraft, if their engine gets damaged or knocked out, well, you're basically screwed. You have to ditch the plane in the water and hope for rescue. This is why aircraft with single engines have fallen out of favor with the US Navy. You can also see this, for example, in the F3H Demon, which had a notoriously underperforming engine and one that gave out at some time, and yeah, they did not really like that. However, it certainly could have been worse. I mean, this is not, for example, the engine of the F7U Cutlass, which was powered by the J46, which was an absolute travesty of an engine, and basically doomed the entire F7U program. Which I'm just making a wild guess right now. I suspect that the F7U Cutlass, which is a plane I want to have in the game for so long right now, is gonna come next year in the next summer event. I have a feeling about it. I don't know. Anyways, back to the F11. Introduced in 1956, the aircraft had a remarkably short career. Only around 4 years. In 1961, they were retired from carrier service. There wasn't anything particularly wrong with them. Quite the contrary, the aircraft was actually a very solid performer and was liked a lot by its pilots. The problem was that there was another aircraft coming into sales at the time. The F8 Crusader. And the F8 Crusader could do everything the F11 could, but even better. Well, maybe not everything, but many things. The F11 was actually a little bit faster on the deck, barely supersonic. The F8 Crusader, pilots who fly this thing often know that this thing down the deck is not that fast actually. But the F8 Crusader could climb better. It was much faster at high altitudes. It had better avionics, radar, all that good stuff, and it was fitted with a way more powerful engine. I think that is the, just need to remember that is the J57, right? I think the F8 Crusader is powered by the, yeah, the J57, I'm pretty sure of it. Yeah, J57 P16, exactly. As you can see, how much thrust this thing develops compared to the J65. Yeah. Just a better aircraft for the job, and that's the reason the F11s remained on carriers for this rather short period of time. Now, the aircraft did have its benefits. The aircraft was very maneuverable actually, despite a 410 kg wing loading. The aircraft was fitted with slats running along the full length of the wing, also trailing edge slats at the back of the wing. This gave the aircraft very good handling even at low speeds, something that is required of a carrier aircraft. It was also much more docile to land than the F8 Crusader. If you look at it, you see that this thing is very close to ground with its landing gear. This is why it gained the nickname the Gator. And with its very long tail behind that and the angle it is required to land, this made the aircraft. Let's say there were a lot of accidents with the F8 Crusader, mostly during landing. The F11 did not suffer to the same extent, because it was just more docile to land. As we stated, it was very maneuverable, had a high roll rate, decent climb performance, armament consisting of missiles and cannons, with the cannons being fitted below the air intakes, giving a good concentrated field of fire. It had good visibility, and was in general a very well liked aircraft. This goes so far as that the US Navy's demonstration teams, the famous Blue Angels, flew the F-11 until they were eventually replaced by the Phantom. And not very willingly. The pilots were heavily against the Phantom and the Crusader, by the way, because neither the Phantom nor the Crusader had the level of acrobatic credentials than the F-11 had. The Blue Angels flew very close and tightened formations and maneuvers with this thing because it was just able to, because it was just so responsive and easy to fly. Now, a number of squadrons would operate the type on several carriers. These were VF-21, VF-33, both positioned in the Atlantic Fleet, VF-24, VF-51, VF-121, VA-156 and VF-191 of the Pacific Fleet, as well as ATU-203 and ATU-223, redesignated VT-23 and VT-26 respectively, and of course the Blue Angels would operate the type from 1957 to 1969. 1969 would also be the year the aircraft was completely retired from all service. Quite a large number of these aircraft actually survive to this day. I was actually surprised when I researched more about this aircraft that there are so many of them surviving, which I'm very glad about because this is just such a good looking aircraft. Early F-11 Tigers would come with a short nose, while the later one, the one that we also have here in game, was given the much better looking long nose. Despite what you may think, this thing was not fitted with an active search radar. It had a gunnery radar, but not an active search radar, so this thing could not be equipped with radar guided missiles. 4 AIM-9B sidewinders could be fitted to the aircraft. The aircraft was rather light for an aircraft of its type, for a Navy aircraft, with a gross weight of 9.5 tons roughly, and a maximum takeoff weight of roughly 10.5 tons. Its top speed at sea level is 1,211 kilometers per hour. The stat card is, well, yeah, that's about right. And it was actually faster down low than up high. At 10,000 meters, this thing only reached 1,169 kilometers. So the aircraft is supersonic, but only barely. Mach 1.1. It's barely supersonic. You will see that in game. And this is one of the reasons the aircraft was just superseded by the F8 Crusader and later the F4 Phantom. It did not have the these aircraft did not have the dogfighting potential of the F-11, but they were just overall better suited for their role, with higher speeds, bigger payloads, and also greater range. Now, when we come to the weaponry of this aircraft, we get to one of the most interesting facts about this aircraft, the fact that this aircraft is most well known for. It managed to shoot itself down. In 1956, during a test demonstration with test pilot Tom Attridge, he conducted a gunnery trial with the F-11, firing 2 bursts of 20mm cannon ammunition. After that, he got the thing into a dive, reaching Mach 1, going supersonic, when he suddenly felt something impacting his aircraft. His windshield got broken and the engine malfunctioned. He tried to get the aircraft back to base, but before he could so, the engine would eventually completely give out and he crashed on the thing. Tom Attridge would survive, and the commission that was tasked to find out what happened found out that the aircraft had actually crossed the path of its own bullets. When the bullets were fired, they obviously don't go straight because of gravity, and they will eventually come down. And with the F-11 going supersonic, it just happened to cross the paths of its own bullets and managed to damage itself enough to basically crash. So it's the first aircraft that managed to shoot itself down, and this is sadly the only thing this really gets remembered for, even though there's just so much more about this aircraft. With that, we come to one of the most interesting subjects about this machine, and that is its development potential. There were 2 prototypes of the F-11 fitted with the J79 engine. And yes, the J79 is the engine that also powers the F104 and the F4 Phantom. These 2 prototypes, designated F11F1F, which is a ridiculous name if you ask me, were known as the Super Tiger. And the Super Tiger was a more or less straightforward modification of the aircraft, fitting with the bigger engine, doing some, I think the aircraft was also lengthened. And these 2 prototypes demonstrated absolute amazing performance and handling that went so far that Grumman decided, okay, this is such a good aircraft, let's just market it to foreign customers, because their own Navy was not very interested in the type for whatever reason. The aircraft would actually reach Mach 2 with the J79. It was maneuverable and had a lot of development potential. Several foreign customers were interested in the machine, most prominently actually my home country, Germany. All other potential customers include Canada, which had just had their Avro CF105 cancelled. The Japanese had keen interest in the machine, and of course the Germans. However, all of them eventually decided for the F104. Yeah, you might wonder why, and that's because Lockheed paid out substantial bribes to several high officials in the respective potential customer countries, so that they all decided for the F104. Leaving behind the Super Tiger to only 2 prototypes, sadly. And if you look at the history and the usage of the F104 in these respective countries, you really see that this aircraft, the F11F1F, could have been one of the biggest what-ifs, is one of the biggest what-ifs in 20th century aviation history, because it was just better in practically all aspects, especially with Germans, which we intended to use this thing as a multi-role aircraft also for ground attack and stuff like that. The F-104 was just completely useless for that. It was also very dangerous to fly. The aircraft had its kinks and quirks, especially for new pilots. The thing could be a death trap. In contrary to that, the F-11 was proven. With the powerful engine, the aircraft handled superbly, and would have been a much better fit for a general purpose fighter than the F-104, which was much more of a strict interceptor than anything else. However, it would never come to fruition. Lockheed just won the contract with, let's say, clever marketing, and only 2 of the F11F Super Tigers are built. I really hope for the Super Tiger to come into the game at some point, because that thing looks just as good as the regular F11, but it's just even better, with a much more powerful engine and also better avionics, all that good stuff. All in all, 200 of these aircraft would be built. A rather low number, but in general, there weren't that many carriers available anyways that would have been able to really house the aircraft anyway. The aircraft would see service from the carriers Lexington, Saratoga, Hancock, Ranger, Forrestal, Shangri-La, Intrepid, and Bonham Richard. On these carriers, it would be replaced by the F8 Crusader and the subsequently also the F4 Phantom. And yeah, 200 aircraft built. A surprisingly large number of these survive today in museums. I think none is airworthy, sadly. I would love to see one of these in a flying display. But yeah, 200 built. Rather short career. Again, in 1961 they were retired from active carrier use. 1967 they were retired from training use, because after that, after the carrier service, they were used as trainers. They were training from, I think, the F2 Banshees, and then test pilots, the trainees, were given a quick stint of supersonic experience with the F11 trainers. And in 1969 they would be completely retired when the Blue Angels traded them in for F4J Phantoms. One last thing we need to talk about before we can look at the aircraft in game is the armament. It can carry 4 AIM-9Bs. This is the first iteration of the AIM-9 to see active service, I think. Was there even AIM-9A? Entered service? I don't think so. I think this is the first one that really entered service, the AIM-9B. It's a first generation air-to-air missile, 10G overload. It has a caged seeker, so nothing special by today's limits, but in 1950s this of course was a huge deal. It fires an explosive warhead containing a rod that expands and basically shreds anything that crosses its path. Unlike the other first generation air-to-air missile, the US operated I think it's the AIM, it's called the AIM-4 Falcon. It did not need to hit the target directly. It had a proximity fuse. The AIM-4 Falcon was notoriously unreliable because it needed to hit the target actually to set off its warhead. Now we come to the gun armament. The aircraft is fitted with 4 20mm Colt Mark 12. This is a late development of the venerable Hispano HS-404 cannon, the same cannons we see on, for example, the Spitfire. But this is you call it a distant cousin, if you can call it. It's a very late development of that gun, the last development of it actually. It fires a lighter shell. The explosive mass was reduced, but the charge was increased. This gave it a very high muzzle velocity, and it also had a very high rate of fire of around 1000 rounds per minute. Despite the roughly 1000 meters per second muzzle velocity and high rate of fire, the gun was not liked that much actually, because despite its attributes, it was actually pretty inaccurate and had a tendency to jam. Especially during high G maneuvers, the gun would jam easily, something pilots over Vietnam encountered when they were operating their F8 Crusaders, which had the same guns mounted to it. Yeah. Nevertheless, it gave the aircraft decent firepower. I mean, 4 20mm cannons is nothing to sneeze about. 125 rounds per gun, which was more, for example, than the contemporary F4 Skyray, which only had, I think, 65 rounds per gun. Now, I think now we have finally covered everything in historic terms. Let's talk a little bit about the aircraft in game. It sits at a battle rating of 9.0 in Air RB, and I think the same in Air Arcade. Yep. No, 9.3 actually. Oh, wait. No. Alright. It sits in the Navy Tech Tree. Oh, wait, it doesn't. What am I talking about? Am I stupid? This is an event vehicle. It was given out in 2020 for the Operation Summer. You will if you have it, you'll find it here. If you want to get one these days, you have to look on the Gaijin market. It sets you back quite some money, but believe me, it's worth it. It's a really good aircraft. It's a rank 6 fighter. It has very high repair costs, but there's a good reason for that. It really is a very strong aircraft. It's fast on the deck. And you can see here the reward for research points and lions. Don't trust the stat guard too much, at least in terms of maneuverability and rate of climb. Speed seems fine. 7.3 kg burst mass, which is alright for this BR. Modifications. Now this is where it gets interesting. Let's first take a look at the secondary weapons. You have choice of various rockets, missiles and bombs. This is a thoroughbred fighter, performance-wise, at least in my opinion. Go for the 4 AIM-9Bs. If you really want to use this thing in ground RB, there are better aircraft for the job. This is really an air RB main aircraft, and it's very good at its job. So I suggest screwing everything of these and get the 4 AIM-9Bs. What should you go first? Let me tell you, this thing is pretty maneuverable, but speed is your biggest weapon. Go for the flight performance mods. Get this first, then this, then the compressor, then this, then the engine, alternatively wing repair, or this, because at the start it comes with 2 M9Bs, but you really want to have 4. Weaponry and flight performance are your biggest, should be your priority. Offensive 20mm guns, you can skip these two. I mean, these won't come last. The bomb modification, you don't need those. After you've done all the performance modifications, go for the 20mm belts. The gun jams frequently, keep that in mind, but you really want to have these missiles first in the flight performance, and if you have good trigger control, that is not too much of a problem. And the guns are inaccurate at first, which is historical. They are really quite shotgun, but still, go for these first and the missiles. Also a G-suit, very important, because should you find yourself forced to maneuver, this thing is able to quickly grey out your pilot, because it really is very maneuverable and can pull some crazy stuff. Speaking of flight performance and weaponry, let's talk a little bit about the missiles and how to use them. These are AIM-9Bs. They're not the best. Even at 9.0, they can easily be dodged. They are very sensitive to heat sources. There are few aircraft at 9.0 that are able to really deploy flares, but it's very easy to confuse the AIM-9B, and just by turning a sharp turn, it will just defeat the missile. It has a cage seeker, so your field of search is very limited. Use these against aircraft that are distracted or low in energy, because if you are going 400 km per hour, you can turn on your one, the missile is gonna hit you anyways. But in a high speed, high G turn, it easily gets defeated. Don't use it above 2 kilometers of distance, at least not against aircraft that are moving quickly, because it will run out of energy before it hits. Against very slow moving targets, low energy, you can fire it from above 2 kilometers, but in general avoid using it above 2 kilometers. Ideally you want to fire it from roughly 1.5 kilometers away. That usually guarantees a hit, should the aircraft not evade. Yeah, let's take this thing for a little bit for a test flight and discuss some tactics for this thing. So, we are here on a carrier. This is USS Forrestal, so one of the historic aircraft carriers that operated the type. Going full afterburner, flaps set to landing. This is the only position they are able to be set. There's no combat flight setting, sadly. So, let's demonstrate some of these aircraft's capabilities. During the turn, you will see. Okay, wait, doesn't it do it now? With flaps deployed, you'll see that it has these leading edge slats, similar to a BF-109. However, they don't deploy automatically, at least not in game, and these will help you tremendously in low speed combat. As you can see, this thing, even at this kind of speed, which is pretty low for a jet fighter, it's tremendously stable and actually pretty maneuverable. Just look at that. This gives the aircraft excellent controllability and maneuverability at low speed. Something few aircraft of this tier actually can really boast about. Despite that, I wouldn't recommend using this tactic in the first place. I mean, not initially. Use this if you can find yourself in a 1 versus 1 late in game, stuff like that, or if you are absolutely sure you are in a 1 versus 1. And even then, you can't outturn anything. Be careful with some of the mix, they can pull some crazy stuff. But you don't really have to, you can play it safer, and that's by using it as an energy fighter, or just a high-speed missile delivery system, if you want to. This thing with its J65 engine has a lot of power behind it. Just look how quickly we are accelerating, and down the deck, this thing really feels at home. I'd recommend, however, still climbing to around 4,000 meters to give you a little bit of flexibility in boom and zoom maneuvers. But yeah, you can also, if you want, use it at low altitude as low altitude interceptor, because this is where it has its best speed. Even at high speed, you see this thing is very easy to control and easily maneuverable. It locks up above, I think, 1,000 kilometers per hour. When it nears the sound barrier, it gets a little bit more difficult to control. This is actually pretty noticeable. Let's demonstrate that. Let's get this thing over 1,000 kilometers per hour. Come on. Oh, yes, you see that? Let's get it in a full turn, and below 1,000 you will see that? It suddenly starts turning a little bit better. I'd say around 1,060 kilometers per hour, so it's transonic speeds. Below that it turns a bit better than before. Keep that in mind. You can see also, even sustained turns, this thing has decent energy retention, and especially in the vertical, thanks to the powerful afterburner, you can do some crazy maneuvers. It also has very powerful and potent air brakes. You can use these to your advantage in dogfights, because this thing with its very good roll rate and decent turn time, you can pull some crazy scissor maneuvers with that, and with the accurate or at least high velocity guns, getting kills in such maneuvers is actually, I won't say easy, but certainly doable and just extremely satisfying. You will see some of these in the gameplay. One thing to note is, don't roll and turn at the same time, because there's a good chance you will just rip your wings off. It happened to me quite some time. Let's demonstrate it. Of course, now it's not gonna do it. Okay. But what that basically means, if you come out on the dive, roll and turn, especially when you go negative maneuvers, there is a chance to rip your wings off. It doesn't happen always, but sometimes, and usually about the worst of the times. generally try to avoid rolling and turning too much at the same time. Anything else to talk about in terms of maneuvers? Again, it can be used as a great dogfighter. However, try using it. I would recommend, just for being safe, to really have all the options on your side. Go in as fast as possible, get a few shots or a missile in, dart out. If there's a fireball developing, you can just go in, get some missiles out or some gunshots, then head out of there, check your 6, if it's clear, make a loop around and go in again. If there's someone on the tail, just accelerate away. At 9.0 you will be able to out-accelerate and outrun almost anything. However, you can face up tiers, there it's a little bit difficult, and the F11 struggles a little bit more at those kind of tiers, up tiers, because you have stuff like MiG-19s, which are faster and equally good dogfighters, and you also have aircraft equipped with R-60 missiles, and you can't do anything against R-60s, just forget it. If a Yak-38, for example, manages to get a lock on you, you're dead. So keep that in mind, always watch your 6, especially in jet combat. Keeping awareness of your surroundings is extremely, and I mean extremely important. Yeah. Let's take a quick look at the cockpit. Good visibility all around. Really looks fairly modern, doesn't it? Except for the lack of radar. It only has this gunnery radar, here you see that, which really doesn't do anything here. In real life it would give pilots an idea where to shoot. I don't know how it really functions completely. I know the F86 has it as well, but here in game it doesn't really serve any function. At least not now. Yeah. We discussed some good tactics. Again, remember, use your speed first and then your maneuverability. Play it safe, and if you need to maneuver, use either vertical or scissor maneuvers, because this is where this aircraft is absolutely great at. Its sustained turn time is decent, but this is not really playing to the aircraft's strengths. I've had tremendous fun with this thing. Flying energy-based maneuvers, scissor maneuvers, it's just so good. It's really cool. I love this thing. It sits at 9.0, where it might be a little bit, some consider it OP. I personally don't want to see it going away. I think there are aircraft at 9.0 that have, or at 9.3 that have much better performance, and also don't go up. Stuff like the Bat Lightning, some of the MiG-21s, the early ones, that are much faster than this one. Yeah. I think this aircraft actually sits perfect at 9.0. Some of the other aircraft that are a little bit overtiered, for example, some of the Sabres, which is at 9.3, which I have no clue why, or the F3H Demon, which sits at a ridiculous 9.7. These are all aircraft that should sit around 9.0, not the VRs just sitting at. This thing at 9.0, I love it. I hope it stays there. And yeah, I know I said it because I love flying it, but it really is just so much fun. I hope it just stays at 9.0. It's a great performer. And that should cover everything for the F11F. We took a look at its history and the aircraft in game. Just look at that. Oh, see that? God, I love this thing. And as you can see, this thing is barely supersonic. But still at 9.0, you will be able to outrun 90% of your opponents. Let's see if I can make it grip again. Maneuvers. Some maneuvers. Yeah, see that? 4G overload negatively. If you roll and turn at the wrong moment, you will rip your wings off. Boom. Ah, yes. shall we do a landing? Let's do a landing. Why not? I mean, I talked about this aircraft having such good flying characteristics and being so easy to land compared to other stuff. Let's just demonstrate that. Go in for a classic approach from the rear on the USS Forrestal. This is a large supercarrier. We should be able to do this in one go. Let's get the speed a little bit up and then come in from behind. One thing to notice, you will see this soon, is that the air brakes retract as soon as the landing gear is deployed. Keep that in mind if you want to go in for a landing, because this aircraft does not like to really bleed speed all too much. Keep the air brakes extended as long as possible, and then at the last moment extend your landing gear before you touch down. That way you will lose speed more easily. Air brakes deployed. Let's also deploy our landing flaps. Lose some speed, lose speed. We want to come in at roughly 300 km per hour. Landing gear out. And you see the air brakes have retracted. And the hook is deployed. The flaps give us great controllability even at low speed. And we should easily be able to touch this thing down. Perfect. Textbook landing, more or less. As you can see, absolutely great handling. This is really what sets this aircraft apart from the rest. Its handling qualities. It really is a dream to fly here in War Thunder. I absolutely love it. So, with that being taken care of, I say let's take this aircraft into battle. So we are here with our very first match here in the F11F for this video. Already in the air. Trying to find some good targets. We have an F11F inbound. Let's see if we can get him. He is occupied. So we have found stuff here and around here, which it happens quite often with the F11. You get a lot of 9-0 planes, get a lot of down tiers, while 9-3 ones get mostly up tiers to 10-3, which is just ridiculous. I'll try to lock him on with our A9Bs. But there's another F84. Let's see. Let's go for this one first. And got him critical. Oh yeah, got the kill. There's the second one. Let's try to miss that one. As you can see, we are not turning. We just go take advantage of our raw speed and power. And we're now trying to intercept that Harbin H5. Chinese copy of the IL-28. Let's lock him on with our missile. That's an easy kill. I mean, he has basically no chance of dodging that. I mean, it's a bomber. And yeah, that's making quick work of the H5. Around, and let's see. Okay, we're clear. And you can see always taking in your surroundings. Take a look at the team. Okay, it's doing pretty well for ourselves, I guess. Oh, that's a nice cluster of aircraft. Let's see how many kills we can get from there. And we're just gonna go straight down, power through them, get some shots in, then head out, missile away at the MiG-15. That's gonna hit. Oh, it did! Great! Oh, shit! And the Junior Man's firing missile at us. Let's just make a high G maneuver and wait that, fire the second one. Yeah. And taking easily care of it. As you can see, the A9B is very easy to dodge when you notice it has been fired at you. Loop around, still have plenty of speed up. Let's see if we can maybe the 15 behind us. We should be able to outspeed him eventually. Catch, yeah. Now we're building up speed rapidly. G91, don't want to fire the missile there. Decent chance of hitting friendly. Nah, I doubt we're gonna hit that. Nope, no. Just keep advantage of our speed and just power through. Shaking that F15 off. Seahawks fired a missile at the... Okay, they are busy it seems. Votor has crashed. Votors are surprisingly easy opponents. They're so easy to kill, especially with missiles. When they're up to speed, they just lock up so hard. It's very difficult to dodge missiles with them. So let's see. Should we intervene there? I don't know. Let's get some altitude first. Altitude is a very big advantage because it allows us to dictate the terms of the battle. Okay, and Atom darts. We might be able to get this guy if I just pull it off correctly. A bit of roll. Oh yeah, this is beautiful. Come on. Can't believe I missed it. Come on, missile, do the job, and yeah, great. Oh, that was a great kill. Perfect positioning here, and let's quickly egress. Yep, dodge the bullets. Not too difficult. It's a Seahawk only. There's no chance of keeping up with us in the climb. And we've baited him and made him an easy kill for the A4E. Make 15 inside. Yep. 4 kills. Top of the leaderboard so far. Let's see if we can make it an ace maybe. I doubt it. I mean, this guy is stuffed. He has the entire team on him. Nope. Okay, I'll put the afterburner off. Now engage it. We don't want to crash into the ground. And just look at this. Look how stable this thing is. Pulling 9Gs, easy peasy. A very stable control turn. That's why I love this thing so much. Oh, might get a chance here. Come on. Ah, just a little bit too late. Okay, again clearing us 6, nothing there. Should be down. Yeah, only one guy left. Okay. We have one AIM-9 left. Seems to, if I'm not mistaken, it is a bomber, so if that's a Votor, it should be easy for us to kill him, should we manage to get behind him. Oh, there he is. I doubt we're gonna get him. The A4 is going head on. Oh, and he's actually killed him. Oh, good for him, I guess. Well, we've won. 4 kills for us. Certainly can't complain about that. Alright. Mission accomplished. 4 kills, 2,383 mission points. Great. Love to see that. And I just jumped ahead a little bit because it loaded forever, the end screen. Mission accomplished. Good number of credits and research points. Yeah. Good first match. So, and here in the next match with the F11, this time it seems we have found ourselves a way into an up tier. There are areas, A10s, hell, even a J35A, so we are at least at 9.7. Holy crap, even on T2. Not the most ideal situation with the F11. It does have the performance to compete in itself, but at 9.7.10.0 you will find aircraft with missiles that far exceed your capabilities, and the F11 doesn't have any flares. So this is quite tricky. At 9.0, if you get it down here, you're top dog. This thing is one of the most, it can be really a game changer. At 10.0, 9.7, you need to be careful not to get swatted out of the sky. But it certainly has its niche. This aircraft is a very good high speed, honestly high speed, but good high energy dogfighter in these scenarios. As we stated in the history and performance part, um, keeping track of energy and speed, managing that is key with this aircraft. And once you have mastered that, even in up tier, it can have its moments. Just don't expect to be as good as you are in the down tier, but that pretty much comes with all other aircraft that face up tiers. Anyways, let's put that thing into a climb. We do want to have all the advantages we can get, and we don't want to find ourselves down low being dived on by enemy aircraft. Maintaining a good 2,500 meters should be enough. This allows us plenty of breathing space should things go south. Okay, we have an enemy F11 up. Oh, an Su-7 as well. That's not the aircraft we need to keep track of the most. The Su-7s, the Harriers, even the MiG-19s. You need to be very careful with these when you face up tiers, because they can easily kill you. They have certain attributes, whether it be having better missiles, being faster, or just being equally good dogfighters, depending on the aircraft you're facing. So keep that in mind. I mean, the Harrier has amazing missiles. The Su-7 is quick and has hard-hitting guns, and the MiG-19 is a very good dogfighter. So, let's see if we can get the enemy F11 and knock him out of the sky. Coming in here, supersonic, breaking the sound barrier. Let's lock him up with a missile. Don't know why I took that shot. Was never gonna hit, but this one might do. Yep, he doesn't seem to be breaking, and yes, got him. He's knocked out of the sky. Well, he wasted one missile, but could be worse. You can't expect every one of these AIM-9s to hit. I mean, this has happened to me maybe once or twice that all of the AIM-9s on the F11 hit, which was pretty fun when it happened, but you shouldn't be counting on it. Oh, and the Su-7 is out of fight. Great. There's an F104. Okay, we are definitely at 10-0. Holy shit. Another anti-aircraft you need to... Well, the F104 is not that big of a deal for the F11. I mean, it's impossible for you to catch it, but the thing is so unmaneuverable. You can just easily break and you can avoid his shots. And he only has 2 AIM-9Bs anyway, so the F104 is not that big of a deal. Ooh, evading the shots from the A-10. That thing is dangerous. Don't go head on with it, not because of the gun, but it also has AIM-9Ls, and these are all aspect missiles. You don't want to be facing those. In general, at high tier, in all tiers, going head on is just a bad idea. Just don't do it. Okay, we have a Shenyang F5, so a MiG-17 in all lessons. Let's see, yeah. Good shot, barely missed. Come on, let's load up another AIM-9. Get some shots out. Missed, damn it. Okay. This looks good. And they missed again. See what I'm talking about? Let's finish with the guns. It's damaged. Come on. Oh, wasted way too many bullets on that, actually. But anyways, we got him. J6A? Oh, yeah, that's a MiG-19. Oh, damn it. We do have enough speed to face him, and he is occupied. We might have a chance of killing him here. Is he? Oh, yeah, come on. No. Oh, one clutch kill. Oh, that's fucking great. Hell yeah, 3 kills in an up tier. Ah, I really love this machine. The last kill, that was really clutch. I mean, last second, the shots hit. But yeah, that's what this aircraft is just really good at, making these snapshots because of its amazing roll rate and agility. Ah, perfect. Just perfect. God, I hope they never change this thing. Please let it stay at 9-0. I love it so much. Well, we have almost no cannon ammunition and no missiles, so it's time to return to base. Let's engage full afterburner. We have enough fuel. That's another thing with jet aircraft, especially those with afterburners. Set your fuel accordingly. If you want to run this aircraft with full afterburners, it will burn through its fuel much more quicker. Which is why I'll take usually around 20, maybe even 30 minutes of fuel. This is usually enough for a single battle. Well, in the airfield, let's throttle down, engage the air brakes, and as I said as much in the in the review part, we will leave the air brakes on as long as possible, and only then engage our landing gear, because when the landing gear extends, the air brake retract automatically. As you can see, this thing at these lower speeds, this thing does not like to do that actually. Which is good in a dogfight, but not necessarily that advantageous when you want to quickly decelerate to land. And nice touchdown. And let's let her roll out. This thing does not come equipped with brake parachutes, sadly. So it takes the time. I mean, the better way, the easier and faster way would be to just make a belly landing. But come on, that's not how you do it in real life. And I want to keep it at least a little bit realistic. And yeah, that's it. Line her up perfectly for the start again. And as you could see, that's one thing I forgot to mention in the historical part. One thing that a number of aircraft have at that time, they don't have ailerons in the usual sense. They only have spoilers on the wings. In the F11 you could see this quite prominently, because the trailing edge runs a full flap. That's why they don't have the ailerons, but spoilers on top of the wings, which it doesn't negate the doesn't affect the aerodynamics all too much. Roll control is just different than in other aircraft you might see, which I guess is just a little bit of interesting tidbit. Stuff like the SO8000, for example, or the Horton. Does the Horton have? Yeah, the Horton has it as well. They also have these spoilers. A lot of jets have them actually. Even the Phantoms have spoilers that help in roll and pitch control. So, we are up in the sky again. Oh, I'm sorry. Just a little bit tight. There's the MiG-17. And they should have a second plane up. I think it's a Harrier, I'm not quite sure. And I need to keep an eye out for that thing. The MiG-17 is not that big of a deal, I can deal with that just by using my energy. But the Harrier, that's dangerous. The Harrier has amazing acceleration. It might not be as fast as the F11, but its acceleration and climb rate are excellent. And it does... oh shit, there it is. There's the Harrier. Oh, and I need help. I can't face this guy alone. He has all the advantages. He's on top of me. He probably has a full set of missiles. So I need to evade this guy. Buy some time for my teammates to arrive. Yep, evade his shots. Great, now reverse the turn. But yeah, that's what I told about. Look at this thing accelerating away. No chance of me catching him right now. So I need to keep him occupied for my team to arrive. We have a Harrier on our team. And he got him! Great. Hey, he came out of nowhere. Didn't even notice he was behind me. I just knew we had a Harrier somewhere. Holy hell. Great shot, great shot. Now only the MiG-17 left. And he's hunting AI aircraft. I mean, it's not a bad choice if he wants to win by points. He needs to kill all of our attackers, but still, we will most likely catch him before time runs out. And there he is. Let's get some long range shots in and then evade. We don't want to go into a full head on. Yep, take it to the vertical. Oh, and he's doing it too. I don't want to engage in an extended dogfight with a MiG-17 because that thing has pretty good turn radius, pretty good agility as well. But he has decided to break off the fight as well, so I'll turn around and try to catch him again. Ideally, you want to catch it from above or behind, or just yeet him out of the sky with our missiles. By the way, full set of AIM-9Bs, rearmed, so we do have quite some opportunities to shoot him. And he's coming in again. Okay, let's get him shots out, then break off again. Oh, he's okay. What? Ah, can't believe I didn't hit that. I saw that he was breaking off the head-on, and that's why I kept going straight, because I might get him in. Might be able to catch him while he tries to evade, because he made it actually pretty easy. If you want to evade, you just don't go straight. You want to break off and maybe do a slight roll to avoid a head-on. But it worked out for him on this occasion. And yep, breaking off. Not doing that. Case in turn, let's air brakes out. Throttle reduced, throttle up again, and let's get a missile shot in. And yeah. And he's good. He is keeping track of his surroundings. Evaded that perfectly. Not bad. Maybe get a second shot in. There's an yep. The Harrier got the MiG-17 as well with one of his AIM-9Gs. Well done to him. Kudos to the MiG-17. He fought pretty hard considering the circumstances. Not bad at all. But well, we got 3 kills in an up tier. I certainly count that as a win for me. Let's see these results. 3 kills. Second in the team. Not bad for the underdog in this match. Look at that. Tied with, I think, the Harrier. Yeah, tied with the Harrier for most kills in the match. So, and in the next match, this is gonna be hopefully our final presentation. Again, another up tier, I think. 57s. Oh no, I think we are in a down tier, right? Because B57s are at an 8-0. So okay, another down tier. Let's see. There's an SU-7 coming in. Holy crap! For anyone who's complaining, the F11 being an 9-0, the SU-7 is as well. And let's see it did. This is what this aircraft is made for. Look at that. These rolling and scissor maneuvers, energy maneuvers. That's great. Cut down on the throttle, then power up again. Making use of flaps, stuff like that. This is, this aircraft is a dream in performing these maneuvers. As are we doing with the SU-7 now. We are slowly catching him because we are way more maneuverable. And got him. First kill, beautiful gunnery there. Oh, holy shit! Oh my god, almost took revenge from the grave. But there's a MiG-15 coming in. Try to go down and wait him. Holy shit! Yeah. Oh, this could be my end. But nah, I think he's overcommitted. He should have been using his flaps, and boom! Crit him. Oh no, the flaps is air brakes to not overshoot, because that allowed me to get the shot at him. And he's still up. Maybe we need to missile him out of the air. Where is he? No, I think he's going down. Yep. MiG-15 down. Kill number 2. Let's get our speed up again. We are low on energy and low to the ground. We don't want this. Let's extend from the main battle area in a bit. Regain some speed, pitch up, and then return. Being followed, I think, but yeah. Yeah, MiG-15 is following us, but our acceleration should be good enough to shake him off, especially now that we are climbing MiG-15 climb is pretty good, but it can't catch an F-11 in a climb. The afterburner of the J65 makes sure of that. Okay, let's see. I think he might be distracted now. Yep, he's disappeared from visual sight. Now he's up again. Maybe we can yeet him out of the air with a missile. And Fox 2. Oh, yeah, got him! Didn't expect the first missile to hit, so, damn it, wasted one. Not too bad, though. That's kill number 3. Saved our teammate there. Well done, well done. Okay, MiG-17 inbound. I think I should be able to handle him. There's another MiG-15 coming in. Okay, let's see what our chances. We do have 2 AIM-9Bs left. We are clear at the moment. Oh, holy hell. More MiGs incoming. And a Sagittario. And the Sagittario, we can't afford to let him get close to us. Now himself there to make... I fired that from too long a range. That's never gonna hit. The Sagittario is an amazing dogfighter. We can't afford to let him get near us. Okay, maybe we can get the MiG-15. We have 1 missile left. No, that's not gonna hit. No, not at this position. Maybe we can... nope. Oh wait. Oh! Yeah! Seems we can. Another clutch kill. Holy hell! Oh, that was beautiful. And now, the Sagittario is coming in, and now we gotta get it out of the situation. Sagittario has amazing guns, extremely good dogfighter, but it can't catch an F-11 in a straight line. So we are gonna lure them maybe back to our base. Our team is fucked. Yeah, he ain't gonna catch us. No chance in hell. Okay, where is the rest of my team? A tricky situation. There's the Skyhawk. He's still forward. Both of them are. Oh, we will execute a wide turn. Don't want to fly any high G maneuvers to not drop any of our speed, because that speed is right now our life savior. It's a wide turn, low G maneuver, and making a beeline for our base. Okay. MiG-15 is broken off, only Sagittario left, and that guy has no chance of catching me. So we're gonna take this into vertical, maybe bleed his speed for the A4E to kill him. And if not, we might be able to loop around and yeet him with our missiles. Yep. Okay, he's broken off. And we need to make this fast, otherwise the Sagittario is gonna kill the A4E. Come on. Oh my god, a MiG-17 has entered the fray as well. Damn it. Come on, F11, accelerate, accelerate. God, how many of these guys are there? 6? Oh god, I think he's toast. Come on, missile. Oh, I wanted... Come on, track! Oh, god damn it. Didn't track. Can we get the Sagittario? Nope, and he has killed the... Oh, I'm so sorry, A4E. Ah, fuck. Now, what you do now? 3 guys. But that's not all of them. 6. Yeah, no. Nope, no chance of me winning this. Should quit while we're ahead. I'm gonna return to base and J out. I mean, yeah, GG to these guys. There's no chance in how I'm gonna win this. So I'll just return to base, exit the aircraft, and not waste any more resources. I mean, there's no shame in it. I mean, these are impossible odds for me. I can't face 6 of these guys in one F11. So yeah, well done to them. They deserve to win. Just gonna return to base to first of all don't frig up my KD with this thing, but also to spare me these Silver Lions. Slow down, keeping the air brakes up extended as long as possible, and only at the last moment we will. Come on, line up. Yeah, extend the gear. Thankfully the gear extends rather quickly, and that's textbook landing there. Oh, slow down, slow down, slow down. I mean, I could just basically keep this thing going and just win by points, but they do have attackers up and they have 6 aircraft. They will just decimate our ground targets if necessary, and I don't want to extend this as unnecessarily as possible. I mean, they have clearly won, and I concede. So yeah, GG to these guys. They just had the better team. So I get the repair up. And J out. Yeah, 4 kills, 2,500 mission points still. I think we did pretty well for ourselves. And the counter's going down. Yeah.
This time, the enemy has proven stronger.
That's a loss for us. But well, I play this game for the fun mostly. I don't care about win rates or stuff like that. I mean, I'm one of these guys who thinks KD is everything. Oh my god, and I have so many lines, I really couldn't care. Oh, what's that? Oh, I got the Mark for Extinction already for the summer event, great. And a 50% RP booster, great, so, yeah. So, and that concludes my video, my review of the F11F Tiger. As I stated, this is probably my favorite jet to fly right now. I freaking love this thing so much. Very solid performer. Once it's spaded, it really can be a game changer in down tiers. Still somewhat competitive in up tiers. I really highly recommend this aircraft. Should you have some money left, you want to buy something from the market, this is really a viable choice. And it also comes with a cool Blue Angel skin. Yeah. So that's that. And I'd say I'd end the video here. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.